So, throughout my entire life here on Earth, I've definitely done a handful of pretty stupid things. Maybe not even a handful, maybe like 58 handfuls of stupid things. And I've talked about pretty much, a good majority of them on this channel. But I have this notepad on my phone, right, in my notes app, called The Dumbest Things I've Ever Done. And I've been saving these story times for years because they're just pretty stupid. And this one's one of the more mild ones, but it's still pretty damn dumb of me. So I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do. Let's get into it. So, yeah, you can tell by the title, this is a crazy one. This story time all starts off back in 2014. 2014 was a pretty interesting year for me because, one, it was the year that I started my YouTube channel, so, that was a good thing. But also, it was the year where I feel like I was the dumbest. Now, in 2014, I didn't have the best group of friends, okay? I had about 6 key friends, and 3 of them I only saw every so often because they were always so busy because we went to different schools. But the other 3 went to my school, and one of them was just a friend that I knew through school. The other one was a friend that I knew through that friend. And then the third one was my weed dealer. Now, here's the weird part about this friendship, okay? So I met this dealer, this plug, through a friend of mine from school. And the odd thing about this was he graduated from our school. He wasn't even a student anymore. He wasn't even, like, the same age as me. He was 18. So he was, like, 2 years older than me. So it wasn't, like, creepy to hang out with him. But I know that if my parents found out that I was hanging out with someone that was 18, graduated, had their own car, and sold weed, I'd be in a lot of trouble. So it was a very risky friendship to have. But in 2014, I was a big stoner and I didn't care. So I literally just kept hanging out with him whenever I could and buying weed off him. And one day that all blew up in my face very hard. So one day in 2014, it was November 2014, it was after school, it was Friday. I was in my room and I was grounded for the weekend. You're probably wondering, Austin, why were you grounded for the entire weekend? Like, what'd you do? It's pretty simple. My mom told me clean my room before the weekend hit or else I'm not going out that weekend. And I ignored her and I did not clean my room and I let it get really gross and dirty. And she came home that day from work and was like, you're not going out this weekend. You're grounded. So yeah, I couldn't go anywhere, right? Now, I wasn't fully grounded. She didn't take away my phone or take away my Xbox and all that other stuff. She just took away the ability to go out, right? So I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not going to listen to her. I'm going to sneak out this weekend. Now, here's the funniest part, okay? Usually, when I snuck out as a teenager, I would wait until my mom was asleep, right? Well, for some reason on this day, I just didn't give a shit. I literally put a bunch of pillows underneath my comforter to make it look like I was taking a nap, and then grabbed my phone, opened my window, and just jumped out that bitch and closed it and left. I had no idea where I was going. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have any plans. I just wanted to get out of the house until later that night. So I ended up walking to this store a mile down the road, and on the way there I called my homie, Mr. Plug, and I was like, yo, are you mobile right now? Basically just asking if he had his car and could drive, and he was like, yeah, what do you want to do? And I was like, I just snuck out, I'm bored, trying to do something. He's like, bet, where you at? And I was like, gas station. He's like, all right, cool, I'll be there in a minute. And literally 3 minutes later, he was there. He lived right down the street, so he pulled up. We hung out there for a little bit, bought some snacks. Then we got in his car. We ended up driving over to another friend of ours' house, hung there for an hour or two. And this whole time, I'm not hearing anything from my mom, right? Meaning that my plan is working. My stupid little, dummy that I set up in my room with pillows to make it look like I was sleeping was working tremendously. Well, then my phone starts getting low battery. I didn't charge it when I got home from school. So I was running on 20% to begin with. And now it's at 2 or 3%. And I remember asking my homie at his house, yo, you got a phone charger? And we were in the basement, and he's like, yeah, it's upstairs. I'll go get it in a second. But then he never got it, and my phone just died. And honestly, I completely forgot about my phone even being on low battery and the fact that I asked for a charger after this because we just got distracted. Me and all my friends started smoking in my friend's basement, and we were playing video games for a little bit, just talking, listening to music. And yeah, I completely forgot about my phone, right? Just completely forgot. Now, after about 30 more minutes of hanging out in my friend's basement, my friend, the one that was the plug, was like, yo, let's go to a movie. I was like, shit, I'm down. I got $20. I'm good. And my other friend was like, yeah, I'm down. And where we were at, my friend's house, he lived literally a 5-minute walk away from the movie theater. So we all just kind of agreed. We're like, oh, let's just walk. So yeah, we left his basement, went upstairs, walked out of the house, and started walking towards the movie theater. And on the way there, I pull open my phone, right, out of habit, just to kill time and like check, social medias and my phone. And all of a sudden, it doesn't turn on. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. My phone was dying, and now it's dead. And I remember looking over at my friend, and he was like, what's up, man? And I was like, my phone's dead. I forgot to get that charger from you. He's like, ah, shit, dude. Maybe the movie theater's going to have one. And I'm like, I don't think the movie theater's going to have a phone charger, but that'd be great if they did. And we got to the movie theater, bought our tickets. We were seeing some random scary movie. I don't even remember what it was called. And honestly, the movie kind of sucked. I don't remember any of it at all. Maybe it's because I was too fucking stoned. I don't know, right? But the movie theater also didn't have a charger. I asked them before we went in the theater if, like, any of the employees had one. They were like, no. So, yeah, for like 3 hours straight, my phone was dead, right? So I have no idea if my mom was calling me, texting me, trying to get a hold of me. And that's pretty stupid. That's a dumb mistake to make on my part. Because now I have no idea if she knows or not that I snuck out. Like, for all I know, she could still be completely oblivious and just, fall for my stupid little, like, nap dummy I made. Or she knows and she's trying to call me and tell me to get the fuck home. So it was a risky game I was playing. But I was already in too deep. So me, my plug, my friend, we all went to the movies. We watched the scary movie, got out like an hour and a half later. And at this point, I had to go home because I had no phone. I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, all right, I got to go home, man. Can you take me home? And my plug was like, yeah, dude, I got you. So we walked back to my friend's house, got in the plug's car. Luckily, he had a car charger, so I plugged that into my phone. And about halfway through the drive to my house, my phone turns on. And when that phone turned on, it was not good. I mean, literally like 20 messages, like ding, 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 just all over, right? And I opened them all up, and they're all from my mom. And the first one says, where the fuck are you? The second one says, answer me. The third one says, answer the phone. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, like all those all pretty much just say, where are you? Answer the phone, where are you? And then the 20th message was, I'm done messing around. I can't worry about you like this. I'm calling the police. So now I'm shitting myself, right? I'm in the car with my weed dealer, keep in mind, on the way back to my house. And I don't know if the police are going to be there. I didn't know if she was bluffing, like lying to me, just trying to scare me. I couldn't tell if she was actually worried. I didn't know, right? So I called her. And she answers while I'm on the way there. And she goes, Austin, where the hell are you? And I was like, I'm on my way home. I was at the movies. And she goes, the police are here. So I hope you're ready to talk to them. And I was like, can you tell them to leave? She goes, no, they need to make sure you're okay. And I was like, you just talked to me though. Like, I'm okay. She goes, it doesn't matter. I'm not sending them away until you're here. I'm like, okay. And then I hear in the background the voice of some guy, right? And I hear, hand me the phone. And she hands the phone to this guy. And he's like, hello, is this Austin? I was like, yeah. He's like, this is Officer Blank, Chief of Police. You coming home soon, buddy? And I was like, yeah, I'm on my way home right now. Like, I just told my mom. He's like, all right, how far away are you? I was like, 5 minutes? He's like, all right, see you soon. And he hangs up. And I look over at my friend and I'm like, yo, the police are at my house. And immediately his face goes from like love and life to like, oh shit. And he's like, are you joking? I was like, no, dude, I just talked to one of them on the phone. Like, it was the chief of police, bro. Like, the cops are there. He's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are the cops at your house? I'm like, I don't know, dude. My mom was like either worried about me or like just trying to teach me a lesson. I don't know. And he's like, bro, I can't get caught. Like, I sell weed, dude. I have weed in this car. I sell you weed. I cannot get caught. And I was like, I know, dude, I know. He's like, bro, I'm an adult. Like, I'll get in trouble. They'll throw me in jail. I'm like, I know, dude. Just drop me off and then leave. You don't have to get out of your car. You don't have to talk to them. Just drop me off and then drive off. He goes, bro, what if they want to talk to me? I'm like, I don't know if they're going to want to, dude. Just let's go there and drop me off. He's like, fine. So, like, a couple minutes later, we get to my house. There's 2 cop cars in the driveway. The cops are standing outside with my mom. They're waiting for me. My friend pulls up to the house. Doesn't even pull in the driveway, right? I open the passenger side door. I get out. I'm about to close the door and, send my friend off. Then I hear one of the cops yell, hey, have your buddy get out too. And I'm like, oh no. And he hears this, right? My homie hears this and he looks at me and he's like, dude, no. And luckily the cops are like far enough away. So I was like, dude, just chill out. You're going to be fine. Just like go up there and talk to them with me. They're not going to search you. Like, you'll be okay. He's like, I hope so, man. He turns his car off. He gets out of the car. We both walk up the driveway. And the chief of police, the guy that I talked to on the phone, kind of like takes control of the situation, right? He starts off by being like, well, where'd you boys go tonight? And we're both like, just the movies. He goes, yeah, anything else? And I told him the truth. I was like, we went to the gas station first, went to my friend's house, walked to the movies, went back to my friend's house. Then my buddy here drove me home, and now here we are. Then the cop kind of turns his attention to me, and he's like, how old are you, Austin? I was like 16. Then he looks at my friend, and he goes, how old are you? And my friend goes, 18. And the cop goes, do you understand that you taking this child out of his home without his parents' consent is a very bad look for you? Like, we could get you on kidnapping right now. And I speak up. I'm like, dude, I'm not a kid. Like, I'm a older teenager, and he's 2 years older than me. Like, he didn't rip me out of my house either. I snuck out willingly, and then I hit him up to hang out. And the cop goes, I don't care. By law, you are a minor. That makes you a child, and he's an adult. So yeah, him driving you around without your parents' consent, taking you to the movies or wherever else you guys went, yeah, we can get him in trouble for that. And I was like, okay, but like, are you? Is that really what we're going to do here? Like, I snuck out. I hit him up. It's not like he ripped me out of my house and drove me away. Like, I made this choice. Are we going to get him in trouble here? Like, it's my fault. And the cop goes, I don't know, it's up to your mother. And he looks over at her. And she goes, honestly, I'm not in the mood for any of this. I just want to know where my son was. He's home. I'm not going to ruin this boy's life over it. It's not his fault that my son's a shithead. So, no, he's fine. And my friend has the biggest, like, sigh of relief. And I look over at him and I'm like, sorry, man. I'm so sorry to drag you into this. He's like, it's okay. And he's like, am I free to go? And the cop's like, sure, but don't do this again because I'll arrest you. And my homie's like, for sure, I won't. Have a good night, everybody. And he walks away, goes back to his car, gets in, starts it up, drives off. After this, the cops basically tell me, like, don't sneak out again or else they're going to come back and throw me in juvie. Just kind of scaring me, you know, trying to make me not sneak out anymore. And they got in their car after saying have a nice night to me and my mom and then drove off. And you want to know what happened after that? I snuck out the next day. I shit you not. I did it again. Not with the plug. This was with a different person. It was with a girl that I was dating at the time. It was a lot later at night, so my mom was sleeping, so I never got caught. But how stupid is that? Like, I literally got caught by the cops, and I was like, oh, I'll do it again. I won't get caught this time. That's just like a testament to how dumb I was back then. But anyway, back to the story here. So after the cops left, we went inside. I immediately got a text message from my homie, aka Mr. Plug. I hate calling him that, but like, I don't know what else to say. It's just funny. And he's like, yo, I think it's best if we like don't hang out for a little bit. Like, that was way too close. I don't want to like piss your mom off or anything. Like, I don't know. And I was like, all right, dude. Yeah, I mean, fair. And we ended up like not kicking it for like 2 weeks. And then we ended up hanging out again. And like, my mom actually met him that time around and like got to know him a little bit. And they actually got along like pretty well. But my mom never knew that he sold me weed, and I think if she did know that, she wouldn't have liked him as much. But a couple of years later, when we were both like adults, and at this point my YouTube was going really well, and I was living out in LA, when I came home to visit, I had him over, and we were hanging out in my kitchen, and my mom like asked how we met when we were younger, because we had like a 2-year age difference, and I was like, oh, he was my weed dealer. And she was like, what? He sold you weed? And I was like, yeah, that's how like we first met. I needed someone to sell me weed, and that's how I met him. And then we just like started, you know, hanging out because we were good friends. And yeah. And she slowly looked over at him and was like, are you still selling it? And he goes, no, not anymore. Like, I have a real job now. And she goes, okay, well, I mean, you guys are adults now. I can't stop you, but wow. I don't know how I didn't find out. And I was like, honestly, me neither, Ma. Like, we were pretty stupid about it. And she was like, you're not selling it, are you? I was like, no, I do YouTube now. You know this. And she was like, all right, good. Now, unfortunately, I kind of lost touch with him a couple of years later. Wasn't really for any specific reason. We just, like, lived in different states and, like, kind of just didn't keep in touch. But I still follow him on Instagram, so he seems like he's doing good on there and, like, living a good life. So shout out to him if he's watching this. But yeah, guys, there's a couple morals to this story. Number one, maybe don't hang out with drug dealers. You know, he was just a weed dealer, but still, like, maybe that's not the best idea. Could probably get yourself in some trouble, especially like where I lived, where it was very illegal. Number two, if you're a kid like I was, like 16, don't sneak out of your house with an adult Even if it was like my situation where it's like a couple years, like, I don't care. Like, that whole situation could have been so much worse, and I'm so lucky it went the way it did, because, yeah. So don't do that, ever, because I don't want to see y'all get in trouble or get hurt or anything. So, yeah, don't do any of the things I did in this story time. It's that simple. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.
You gon' lay down. I'll be in LA. I'll be on my way.